Turning overseas now, France and Russia have agreed to coordinate plans for tougher action against the Islamic State group. The proposal comes in the wake of the recent attacks in Paris and the bombing of a Russian passenger plane in Egypt. But the agreement coincides with another growing crisis, with Russia slapping sanctions on Turkey for shooting down a Russian warplane. Anne Barker reports.
First, they were united in grief. Now, France and Russia are united in their determination for revenge against a common enemy.
Nous avons été frappés en France par un acte terroriste.
We've been hit by terrorist attacks in France, says French President François Hollande. Russia has also been hit with an attack on a passenger plane. We know that terrorism is our common enemy. We know who they are. They have a name. They are Daesh, the Islamic State group.
C'est Daesh, État islamique.
The French president has travelled to Moscow to secure Russia's support to do far more to destroy Islamic State.
Et nous devons,
We have to take the initiative so we can intensify the fight against the terrorists, he said. That's why I'm in Moscow, to establish with you how we all need to react and to coordinate so we can beat this terrorist group and at the same time find a political solution for Syria. Russia's solidarity with France has strengthened since the bombing of the Metrojet passenger plane in the Sinai last month, brought down by suspected ISIS militants. Russian President Vladimir Putin has given his full support to François Hollande. We see that you're putting much effort into creating a wide coalition, he said. You know our position. We're ready for such common work and consider it absolutely necessary, and our positions coincide on this. France's plan for a so-called grand coalition against Islamic State would see an increase in airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria. There'd be a better exchange of intelligence and an agreement not to target other groups that are also fighting ISIS. But to succeed, it would need more than just Russia's support. Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron is trying to convince the House of Commons that the UK must join the campaign in Syria.
We shouldn't be content with outsourcing our security to our allies. If we believe that action can help protect us, then with our allies, we should be part of that action, not standing aside from it. And from this moral point comes a fundamental question. If we won't act now, when our friend and ally France has been struck in this way, then our allies in the world can be forgiven for asking, if not now, when?
The Moscow talks come as Russia deals with a separate crisis over its role in Syria since Turkey shot down a Russian warplane on Tuesday. Outright war has been averted, but now both countries are embroiled in a war of words. Russian leaders are threatening sweeping sanctions against Turkey, angry at the lack of an apology and what they say was a premeditated act. Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan has hit back at what he says is emotional and unfitting comments for a politician. If the same violation happened again today, he said, Turkey would respond the same way. Turkey is adamant it had the right to shoot down the warplane because it violated Turkish airspace. Russia has vowed to continue its bombing sorties near the Turkish border, even though there's no evidence Islamic State militants are present in the area.
Anne Barker.